Hello everyone, this is Dr. Siddhalingamurthy SM, HOD of Botany, ADP First Aid College, Harapanalli. Dear students, today I am going to explain you about the interaction of genes. In the previous classes, you have learnt about the Mendelian genetics. There, you came to know about the meaning of phenotype, genotype, monohybrid cross, dihybrid cross, the monohybrid cross ratio, dihybrid cross ratio, that is 3:1, dihybrid cross ratio, that is 9:3:3:1. Okay, so you know that according to Mendel, each character is controlled by a pair of factors. So these factors may be homozygous in condition or they may be in heterozygous in condition. In fact, they are the two forms of a single gene. So Mendel said that a character is controlled by a particular gene which exists in these two forms. But later on found that in many plants and animals, each character is not only controlled by one gene, in some cases it may be controlled by two or more genes. So when a character is controlled by two or more genes, then these two or more genes interact with each other and bring about a particular character. So in such cases, whenever a character is determined by two or more dominant genes, there is an interaction of genes. So this phenomenon is known as what? Interaction of genes. So when two or more genes interact, they bring about a different characters. The way by which the genes interact varies in different plants at different situations and also depending upon the nature of genes. So therefore, the interaction of genes is of different types. In your syllabus, there are three such interaction of genes. One is epistasis, second one is complementary factors, and the third one is supplementary factors. Okay, so let me tell you now the first one, that is complementary factors. So when two or more genes determine a particular character through their interactions, then what happens? The dihybrid cross ratio, what we observed so far, 9:3:3:1, is get modified. So it is modified. For example, in case of complementary factors, this ratio is 9:7. So instead of 9:3:3:1, here we have got a 9:7 ratio. Complementary gene means, as the name itself indicates, imagine that there are two genes, and these two genes, even though they are dominant in nature, they cannot express their character unless and until both of them come together. That means when these two genes are present together, they show a special character. When any one of these two genes is absent, then they cannot express their character. That means they are mutually expressive. So this nature is nothing but what? Complementary gene action, and that phenomenon is called as complementary factors or complementary gene action. So let us observe here. So two or more dominant genes inherited from different parents, and these genes are complementary to one another. That is, as I said already, if any of the two dominant genes is present alone, it remains unexpressed, but expressed only when they are combined together in F1 through suitable crossing. So this is the meaning of what? Complementary. So in other words, they complement each other to produce the concerned phenotype. Bateson and Punnett explained this action of complementary genes by taking an example of a plant called Lathyrus odoratus. That means a sweet pea plant. So sweet pea plant, they develop white flowers, and some varieties develop red flowers. So it is known that red flowers is due to the effect of complementary genes. When both the dominant genes are present, they complement with each other and will produce the red character. And when any of these two complementary genes absent, they cannot show the red flower. So you can observe here, in sweet pea, it is the white flowered sweet pea plant. Only one complementary factor is present in the dominant form. That is what? C. Other factor is not present here. That is, it is present in the recessive form. So, white. Here also the plant has white flower. Why? Here what happened? The gene, dominant gene, only one is present or is present. Other gene that is not present in the dominant form. So, it is present in the recessive form. So, here R is not there and here C is not there. Therefore, the plant produces white flowers. When these two plants are crossed with each other in the F1 hybrid, they develop red flowers. That means here you see both C and R are there. So this is how, when these two are present together, they complement with each other and express so that the flower will be red. If any one of these factor is absent as shown here, then they cannot show the character. So that is the meaning of complementary factors. So let us see how that 9:7 ratio is obtained. When this F1 hybrid selfed, as you know that 4 types of gametes are produced. CR, capital C small r, small c capital R and small c small r. Here we have taken the gametes of male plant and here are the gametes of female plant. So these two gametes fuse, you will get the hybrid like this, and this one get crossed with or fused with this gamete, you will get like this. So this is how, as you know already, as in case of dihybrid cross, totally 16 are there boxes, and you can observe how many of them are white and how many of them are red. So dear students, hope you understood. Complementary factor means to produce the red character, both should be present, the gene C and the gene R, either in 2 number or in 1 number. So at least 1 R and 1 C, capital dominant genes present, then it will be what? Red. If only capital C is there, no capital R. Similarly, if only capital R is there, no capital C. And if both capital R, capital C are not there, whatever it may be, then the flower will be white. You see here, capital R is there, no capital C, white. No capital R, no capital C, white. R is there, no C, so again white. So to produce red color, at least one member of capital C and capital R should be present. If you count here, the Lathyrus odoratus, that is a sweet pea plant, if they have both C and R, then it is red, and the number is what? 9 and R. That means having only the white, then they are 7. So therefore, the ratio of complementary factor is 9:7. The normal dihybrid ratio is 9:3:3:1. But here what happened? It is changed to 9:7. 9 red flowered plants and 7 white flowered plant. Okay. So this is about the complementary genes. We can observe this phenomenon in other plants like sorghum also. Then supplementary gene action. In this case what happens? 2 dominant genes are present. One dominant gene expresses its character and other dominant gene cannot express its character. It can express its character in presence of the other dominant gene. That means it will produce a different character when present along with the other dominant gene. That means it will supplement. You will understand when we discuss with the example. You see here, 2 different type of genes present. One type can express itself independently, but other has no expression of its own. But when 2 such genes interact, they produce a a new character, right? So other gene cannot express on its own, but present with the other dominant gene, it will express its character. Again, let us take an example called sorghum, jawar plant. The black purple color is due to a dominant gene called capital P, and purple is dominant over brown. When capital P is not there, then the color of the grain will be what? Brown. So this black purple color changes to red when another gene is present, that is called what? Q. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಯೂ ಪಿ ಜೊತೆ ಬಂದಾಗೆ ಈ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಪರ್ಪಲ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ವಾಟ್? ರೆಡ್ ಪರ್ಪಲ್. ಸೊ ದ ಮಾಡಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕ್ಯೂ, ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ನಾನ್ ಅಲೆಲಿಕ್ ಜೀನ್ born on another chromosome, has no expression of its own in presence of the other recessive factor, that is P. Similarly, the recessive factor Q is also without any phenotypic effect, but when both dominant P and Q are brought together, the blackish purple color changes to what? Red. So remember here, in the interaction of genes, I said in the definition, two or more dominant genes determine a particular character. Here, that single character or a particular character is what? Color of the grains or the color of the seeds. So, color of the seeds is determined by two independent genes. They are not present in the homologous chromosome. They are present in non-homologous chromosomes. In other words, they are non-allelic, right? They are the different genes but determine one particular character. So the gene P and Q, these two genes present in two different chromosomes, meaning non-allelic, bring the character that is the color of the grain. So here what happened, when P is present without Q, black purple, right? Dominant form. When Q is present, it will supplement, so that black purple changes to what? Reddish purple or red. When P is not present in the dominant form, then it will be what? Brown, right? So you can observe here. Let us see the sorghum plant or the jawar plant, blackish purple variety crossed with brown. Capital PP is there, so therefore blackish purple. Capital PP is not there, it is in small pp, brown. Q is there, it cannot express its character unless and until it will come with capital P. So when these two varieties are crossed, you will get an hybrid where you see capital P is there, capital Q is there. So ಈಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, this Q will show its effect, that means it will supplement. So PQ ಎರಡು ಬಂದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, black changes to what? Reddish purple. When this F1 hybrid allowed for F2 generation, then you will get the ratio. What is that ratio? 9:3:4. So as usual, 4 types of gametes are formed. You know very well. Capital P, capital Q1, capital P, small q, small p, capital Q, small p, small q. 4 types of gametes. One side we take on the male and other side the female. After their crossing, fusing, you will get all these things. So by looking the genotype, you can easily write the phenotype. P, Q, at least in one number both are present, it is red purple. No capital Q, only capital P is there, then we can say easily black purple. Capital P is there, no capital Q, black purple, right? So here capital P is not there, capital Q is there, brown, right? Even capital Q is not there, then also it is brown, right? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಏನಂದರೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಪಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕಿಶ್ ಪರ್ಪಲ್, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಬ್ರೌನು, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಇತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ರೆಸೆಸಿವ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇದ್ರೂ ಬ್ರೌನು. ಯಾವಾಗ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಪಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಕ್ಯೂ ಎರಡು ಜೊತೆ ಬಂದಿರ್ತವೆ, ದೆನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ it will be what? Reddish purple. So if you count this one, you will get reddish purple 9. That means both P and Q are there. Then blackish purple, that is what? 3. Here capital P is there. And the last one is 4. No capital P here. Maybe capital Q or without capital Q, whatever it may be. So it will also, it will show brown. So this is how the supplementary factor ratio is 9:3:4. Clear? 9 reddish purple to 3 blackish purple and 4 brown. So that's all about the supplementary factor. So lastly, let us discuss about the epistasis. Students, it is easier. Epistasis is almost similar to that of law of dominance. Here also two dominant genes interact and bring about a particular character. When two dominant genes interact here, one dominant gene suppresses the effect of other dominant gene. The dominant gene which stops or suppresses the other dominant gene is called epistatic. And the dominant gene which is suppressed by the other gene or the epistatic gene is said to be what? Hypostatic. That means when epistatic gene is present, hypostatic gene cannot work. In the absence of epistatic gene, the hypostatic gene will work. So you can understand easily again by taking a variety of sorghum caudatum. So pearly grain color is dominant over chalky, that means white. Pearly color develops when dominant genes Z is present. So chalky or white color develops in the absence of capital Z. Another dominant gene is there, that is W, which is responsible for the red color. But this W is dominant over the Z. See, when W is present, this Z will not work. ಈ ಜೆಡ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಜೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಏನು ಪರ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೇನ್. ಆದರೆ ಡಬ್ಲ್ಯೂ ಇದ್ದಾಗೆ ಇದರದ್ದು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದು ಹೈಪೋಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಜೀನ್, ಡಬ್ಲ್ಯೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಎಪಿಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಜೀನ್. ಇವೆರಡು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗಿದ್ದಾಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಎಪಿಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದ್ರ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಜೆಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಯಾವಾಗ? ವೆನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಡಬ್ಲ್ಯೂ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದೇರ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸಿ how the cross and the ratio obtained. So gene Z, in the absence of W, the grain color will be pearly or chalky. Capital Z ittandre pearly irutte, small z idre chalky irutte. So let us see through a cross. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ರೆಡ್ W ಒಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು, ಒಂದನಾಗಲಿ ಎರಡು, ಒಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು W ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ರೆಡ್ಡೆ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇದು ಎಪಿಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್. ಹಿಯರ್ W is not there, you see. Capital W is not there, Z is there, so pearly. So here no W, no Z, then only it is chalky. So the ratio will be what? 12:3:1. Let us see how it is obtained. Sorghum plant, red and pearly. Red because of W and pearly because of Z. When crossed here, again we will get the red, because this Z has no ability to express when W is present, because it is epistatic. Again in the F2 generation, 4 types of gametes are produced as usual, and you can write the checkerboard, and these are the genotypes formed here. So as I said here, if one W is present, it is epistatic. We can simply write what? Red. When there is no W, capital W, then you see if Z is there, then what you have to write? Pearly. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಡಬ್ಲ್ಯೂ ಇದೆ, ರೆಡ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಡಬ್ಲ್ಯೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಜೆಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಪರ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್? ವೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಜೆಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಡಬ್ಲ್ಯೂ, ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವಾಟ್? ಚಾಕಿ. ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ದ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್? 12:3:1. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ epistasis. So remember the ratio of complementary factor, right? Then ratio of supplementary factors and the ratio of epistasis. So among these three, definitely one will be asked in the examination. Okay, so that's all about the complementary genes supplementary genes and epistasis. Thank you.